Nigel Marven, a time-traveling zoologist and a man who has had his fair share of close scrapes with dinosaurs. But the Earth has witnessed more terrible monsters than these. What Nigel is about to learn about prehistory is that no matter how bad things get on land, the one thing you should never ever do is get in the water.
I'm Siona, this is August, and welcome to my 600 subscriber special in which I will be breaking down the third and final episode of Sea Monsters, with that being Into the Jaws of Death. So, let's get into it. For some reason, most versions of the titles use 5 full stops for the ellipsis instead of the usual 3. The episode, once again, is made up of 3 segments. Continuing on from last episode, this segment is set 4 million years ago in Peru. I cannot find where the segment was filmed. Otodus megalodon, colloquially known as just megalodon, was an otodontid, or megatooth shark, lamnoid from the early Miocene to early Pliocene, approximately 23 to 3.6 million years ago, of basically everywhere, meaning it lived in the right place and time to appear. Megalodon was thought to be a species of Carcharocles, and therefore a close relative of the great white shark, at the time of production. However, this placement has since changed, so its interpretation as basically a giant great white shark is no longer thought to be accurate. Given the species is only known from jaws and teeth, we cannot know what it actually looked like. The Megalodon is actually undersized when you compare it to Nigel, using this to scale the creatures in the series, being smaller than the 17 meters Tylosaurus, when the real Otodus megalodon grew to 18 meters long. The megalodon's eyes roll backwards into its head when it attacks the chum bag. This is based on great white sharks, which do this as well. Megalodon is still believed to have been driven to extinction by whales moving farther north, where Megalodon couldn't go because of climate change from the Ice Age. Although it is also possible that they were outcompeted by great white sharks. Remoras appear. Based on their size relative to the megalodon, they look to be giant remoras, potentially adapted to feed on this species. As far as I can tell, no such thing exists in reality. Remoras had already existed for at least 23 million years before the episode's setting and are known from worldwide. A whale appears, attacked by the megalodon. It is often theorized to be Cetotherium. Cetotherium was a Cetotherian baleen whale from the Miocene to Pliocene, approximately 20 to 1.8 million years ago, of Europe and North America, meaning it lived at the right time to appear and possibly could have travelled south to Peru. There is evidence of Megalodon preying upon the genus. It reuses the Odobenocetops model. The segment is set 155 million years ago in England. I'm unsure where it was filmed, but it may have been, once again, the Bahamas or Aotearoa, New Zealand. Leadsichthys was an asthenocormine pachycomiform fish from the mid to late Jurassic, approximately 165 to 148 million years ago, of Europe and South America, meaning it lived in the right place and time to appear. The size of Leadsichthys is greatly exaggerated in this series. It only reached about 17 meters, not the almost 30 meters shown in the series. Its head looks completely wrong and should be much less sloped, as well as having higher eye placement. They are speculated to be migratory like whales within the series, feeding on plankton in summer, then fasting and migrating to warmer waters in winter. This is unlikely. Hybodus returns from cruel sea. Hybodus was a hybidontid an order of shark-like cartilaginous fish, which branched off before both sharks and rays, meaning that though it is referred to as one within the episode, it is not actually a shark. It is known from the latest Triassic to mid-Jurassic, approximately 205 to 165 million years ago, of Europe, meaning it lived at the right place to appear, but it went extinct approximately 10 million years before the episode's setting. At the time of production, though, Hybodus was a wastebasket taxon that was thought to live from the latest Carboniferous to latest Cretaceous, meaning that the Hybodus in the series are based on some other genus separated out from Hybodus, although I don't know which one it could be. Hybodus is oversized within the series. If you compare it to the Leedsichthys' fin, it is about the same length as it. By scaling this fin to the size of the total animal, then you could get an estimate of the fin being approximately 6 meters long. The largest hybidontids known were only around 3 meters long. Metriorhynchus was a Metriorhynchid thalattoseuchian, an extinct clade of fully aquatic crocodilomorphs, from the late Jurassic, 157 to 150 million years ago, of France, meaning it lived in the right time and around the right place to appear. There used to be a species of Metriorhynchus known from Britain, Metriorhynchus superciliosus, but this is now its own genus, Thalattoseuchus. There is evidence of Metriorhynchus feeding on Leedsichthys. Liopleurodon returns from cruel sea. Liopleurodon was a Thalassophonian pliosaurid from the mid to late Jurassic, 166 to 155 million years ago, of Europe and Mexico, meaning it lived in the right place and time to appear. It is still massively oversized, reaching 25 meters in the series, a far cry from the realistic maximum length of 8 meters. It should have some kind of tail fluke. The Liopleurodon may be slightly shrink-mapped, and its teeth should be straighter, not pointing forwards and outwards. Pterosaurs appear in the background. A pterosaur which lived in England at the right time to appear in this segment was Cuspocephalus. The final segment of this series is set in the late Cretaceous, 75 million years ago, of Kansas, in what Nigel calls Hell's Aquarium, which is actually known as the Western Interior Seaway, which was the large ocean that split the US in two. It appears to be based on the Niobrara Formation, in which most of the creatures from the segment are known. However, it was laid down from 87 to 82 million years ago, not when the segment is set. It was likely filmed in Aotearoa, New Zealand. Pteranodon returns from the Land of Giants, the good one. Pteranodon was a pteranodonted pterodactyloid from the late Cretaceous, 86 to 78 million years ago, of North America, meaning it lived in the right place to appear, but went extinct approximately 3 million years before the episode's setting. There are two species of pteranodon known from the Niobrara Formation, but the one in the series is based on the type species, P. longiceps. Its beak should curve upwards more towards the tip. We only see one individual in detail, but all pteranodons that appear in the background share the same model based on the males of the genus, while some should be females with shorter crests as well as being overall smaller. It should have pycnofibers. Pteranodon fed by diving similar to gannets and boobies, not as a skim fisher, as shown in the episode. Hesperornis was a hesperonithid, a family of incredibly bird-like derived avialans that were similar in lifestyle and appearance to both cormorants and penguins. It lived in the Campanian, 83 to 72 million years ago, of North America and Russia, meaning it lived at the right place and time to appear. However, the one in the show is based on the largest species, Hesperornis regalis, which is only known from the Niobrara Formation, meaning it would have gone extinct before the episode's setting. Hesperornis is referred to several times as a bird, but it was not actually a true bird, instead being a basal ornithuron, which is the clade to which birds and their closest relatives belong. The design is given grebe-like lobed feet, which may or may not be accurate. Small fish appear in shoals. There are many fish known from the Niobrara Formation. An interesting candidate for it to be is Omosoma, a polymyxiiform, or beardfish, known from the late Cretaceous, approximately 85 to 83 million years ago, of Kansas, meaning it lived in the right place but was extinct by the episode's setting, although another species lived at the right time to appear but is only known from Lebanon. Although not named in the show, it is externally identified as Halosaurus. Halosaurus was a halosaurine mosasaurid from the late Cretaceous, approximately 86.3 to 66 million years ago, of the USA, Egypt, Morocco and possibly the Middle East, meaning it lived in the right place and time to appear. Its tail should be more fluke-like and less eel-like. It should be a little bulkier, and its skull should be shorter and more robust, and it should have more foot-like flippers. Zophactinus was an ichthyodectiform basaltaleost, the ray fin fish group containing 95% of all extant fish, from the early to late Cretaceous, 166 million years ago, of eastern North America, including Canada and Kansas, as well as parts of Europe, Australia, Venezuela and Argentina, meaning it lived in the right place and time to appear. Zophactinus is accurately shown swallowing its prey whole. A shark appears. It is often theorized to be Scolocorax. Scolocorax was an anacoracid mackerel shark from the early to late Cretaceous, 109 to 66 million years ago, although much of this is due to it being a wastebasket taxon. It lived around the world, meaning it occurred at the right place and time to appear. The shark reuses a shrunken megalodon model. Scolocorax, along with 5 other genera of lamniform, are known from the Niobrara Formation. Given it uses the megalodon model, the best candidate of the 5 is Craterlamna, which was an otodontid. T-Rex returns from Death of a Dynasty in a cameo. Tyrannosaurus rex is a tyrannosauroid coelurosaur from the latest Cretaceous, approximately 70 to 66 million years ago, of western North America, meaning it may have lived in the right place to appear, but didn't evolve for approximately 5 million years after the episode's setting. A tyrannosaur from around the right time, 75 to 74 million years ago, and place, New Mexico, is Vistahiversa, although it was much more basal, being an early branching eutyrannosaur rather than a tyrannosaurin, so it would not look like the series' T-Rex. But this Rex design also doesn't really look like Tyrannosaurus Rex either. Its head should be longer, less boxy, rounder and larger compared to the rest of the body, its tail should be longer and thicker, and it should have a deeper chest. T-Rex almost certainly couldn't roar, instead likely producing hissing and rat-like thumping calls. Archelon was a protostegid, a family of giant aquatic turtles sister to Chelonoidea, or the true sea turtles. It lived in the late Cretaceous, 80 to 74 million years ago, of the US, meaning it lived around the right place and time to appear. Archelon is one of 3 creatures in the segment, with the others being T-Rex and Halosaurus, which are not known from the Niobrara Formation, instead being exclusively found in the later Pierre Shale from the same area. There is another massive protostegid known from the Niobrara Formation, Protostega itself, which was not quite as big, but still massive. Elasmosaurus was an elasmosaurid, a family of derived plesiosaurs with a very long neck. It lived in the late Cretaceous, 80 to 77 million years ago, off the western interior seaway, meaning it lived in the right place at almost the right time to appear. Elasmosaurus is known from the Niobrara Formation, although the species from there, Elasmosaurus sternbergii, is indeterminate and cannot be definitively placed within Elasmosaurus. Another elasmosaur, which is definitely known from the Niobrara Formation, is Styxosaurus. Plesiosaurs are now known to have had tail flukes. The Elasmosaurus's neck should be slightly thicker. Although not named in the episode, they are externally confirmed to be Tylosaurus. Tylosaurus was a tylosaurine, a subfamily of large mosasaurs, from the late Cretaceous, approximately 92 to 66 million years ago, of North America, Europe and Africa, meaning it lived at the right place and time to appear. The Tylosaurus in the show are based on the largest species, Tylosaurus proroger, which was also the largest mosasaur in general, and is known from the Niobrara Formation. It should have a tail fin and a forked tongue. Its length is exaggerated, with Tylosaurus proroger reaching a maximum length of 14 meters, not 17 meters. Mosasaurs almost certainly didn't hunt in groups, and in fact we have evidence of intraspecific, within species, fighting amongst mosasaurs. The snout should be slightly less thin and pointy. And that was To Hell and Back. I hope you enjoyed this video. Hopefully I'll get it out on the day it was supposed to come out, just very late, like more than 12 hours late, but it's better than having to wait an extra week, I guess. Sorry for not getting it out earlier, sorry for not getting it out last week. It was a big video to record and write, and I haven't been feeling the greatest mentally recently, so I hope you'll forgive me. I'll try and get back to weekly uploads. Music will still be consistent, but Thursday videos just might miss a few. I hope you don't mind. Hope you enjoyed this. Thanks for watching. Thank you for getting me to 600 subscribers. And I'll see you next time. Have an amazing day. Goodbye.